All right, you chartreuse goose. Are we back? I think we're back. Lost the whole audience. If you want to know what the beginning of the live stream was like, go back and watch the video before this one. But to recap, to summarize, we did some of the meme news, and I talk about doing meme news. I show you little memes or graphs or charts or images or PNGs or whatever you want to call it, IMGs. I call it the meme news because it's easily understood. It's like the Sunday funnies, the cartoons. They send a powerful message. So we'll do a little meme news. But we're going to talk about working girls because this American history is rich with women in labor. Not like giving birth. I got to rephrase that. Laborious women. Working girls. That's how I'll put it. American history is filled, has a wealth of working girls in it. Again, that doesn't sound correct. Women in labor, working girls. God, the language is just not doing justice to what I want to communicate right now. But we're going to get to it. I want to show you that before feminism, women were working. Women were leading the charge in some instances. And I feel like I've heard enough right-wing grifters talk about, well, there's like a fad about traditional wives and how wives should stay at home and raise kids. And number one, I hear that and I go, Jesus Christ, just pay people enough where they can work one job, like the 80s and 90s, where Homer could just work and Marge could stay home. Like if you pay people enough, you can get that wish fulfilled. And I don't care if it's mom staying home or dad staying home. Like you got to pay people enough so they can afford to live. But number two, they pretend like that is the solution to your economic woes, which doesn't make any sense. Or if they're saying that's the solution, women staying home, that's the solution to societal woe. Like that doesn't make any sense because women have been a major force in labor history, and we're going to go into that. But before we do, and also I'm going to debut a new segment called Have You Even Said Thank You? That's where we thank the president and Jonathan Vance for what's happening in the country right now. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a lot of countries that are no longer going to ship post packages, mail to the U.S. until stuff gets figured out. Great. So we're going to say, have you even said thank you in this new segment? And then we're going to talk about this absolutely disgusting dude. So gross. We're going to talk about this news too. So gross. If you didn't know, Bill Belichick's 73. He looks about that. And he's dating a girl who's 24. I mean, I don't know what it just reminds me, Belichick being 74, dating a 73, and dating a 24-year-old, reminds me of like when I was in high school and these dudes that were clearly in their 20s would come back and take like high school girls to the dances. And I never got it. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Like, I just didn't get it. I still don't get it. I'm like, maybe like women your age are not attracted to you, or you just, you feel like this is the African savannah and you're a predator. I don't know. But this is creepy, and they're capitalizing on it, because everything's a hustle in America. Oh, economic woes, just turn whatever you're doing into a side hustle. And some people defend it. Anyways, they're trying to trademark the term gold digger so they can sell jewelry. Great. Where is the working girl stuff? And I was showing these hospitals closing across America because Republicans don't want to fund it, because that's what makes our country great, closing hospitals. Idiots. The horrific news coming out of Minnesota. Politicians not doing anything right now. They're not doing their job. But let's get into the working girls. This is a photo from the National Historic Park website. of the Mill Girls of Lowell, Mass. You might have known Lowell, Mass, for being the home of Irish Mickey Ward. Is that his name? Or his depiction by Christian Bale in the movie The Fighter. Oh, my good friend's in that movie. Or one of my friends is in that movie. So yeah, watch The Fighter. Support it. But these are the Mill Girls of Lowell. I told you we would talk about working girls because somehow on the internet, people, I don't know if it's stupidity is like gone viral or ignorance or it's malicious propaganda. I'm going to go with that. But people like to pretend like, feminism really is the root of all this, bad stuff. People like Dennis Prager of Prager University. It was an absolute garbage human. Straight up viral. Mr. R. Mr. R is back. CJ. Old Bill is a cheater anyways. Why aren't they all? At that age, if you're dating a 24-year-old, I'd question your life choices. Just a rule of thumb, all right? This is the rule of thumb. If you're that old and you got to date a 24-year-old, I'm sure he's talking about what's on TikTok with her. My Christ. How does he go out in public? He should be mortified. What have we normalized? Jesus. Anyways, somehow the viral internet has made people believe like traditional wifing, they call it trad wifing, is like, how you heal society. Not keeping hospitals open like we went over. Not the photo of all the hospital closures. This won't help society at all. But trad wifing is. If you're a guy and you go to work and your wife stays home with the kids, this is such a mockery of anybody with a semblance of a brain cell in their head. And a lot of people point to the root of, they don't believe in being woke or systemic anything, but they sure do believe in being woke to their own causes, like feminism, was the downfall of the American empire or whatever the fuck they're saying today. The green M&M wearing high heels really, made this economy horrible. I don't know how anybody could listen to these people seriously. So anyways, yeah, keeping hospitals open isn't going to help you. But, trad wifing will. Absolute joke and mockery. They think you're stupid. That's what they're telling you. If you watch anybody who says stuff like that, just know what they're saying is like, I'm probably going to try to make money off this person and I think they're stupid. That's what they're telling you if they're presenting you content like that, because they clearly don't know American history, where not only were girls working, but a lot of children were working at the time. And I don't know if it's irony or not, because for some reason they thought, women in the workplace was a bad thing, but then they want to put kids back in the workplace, and that's a good thing. I can't figure these people out. They just go wherever their corporate overlords tell them to go. So when we talked about this, I said, I want to bring you some photos. I just want to show you this. I'm going to plant the seed. That's what I do. I plant seeds. These are the Mill Girls of Lowell, okay? And there's a bunch of photos. You can Google it yourself. You got Google, don't you? Nationalize the internet. But the Google and their website, I just did the synopsis. I shared their website down below if you want to read more. But the synopsis talks about the Lowell Mill Girls formed the first union of working women, known as the Lowell, what does that say? Something. I can't read it. Lowell something Labor Reform Association. Look at that. Women taking the lead in the labor movement. First union of working women. They were fighting for the 10-hour movement. Ooh, that sounds painful. A key goal of the LFLRA, you got to work on that abbreviation. You got to call it something else, was to pass laws for a maximum 10-hour day. My Christ, we've come so far. And these politicians want to ding us back. They want to trickle up economics us back into the dark ages. They were fighting just to only have a 10-hour maximum work day. And we have the technology now, folks. We should be working 3 days a week, at maximum 6 hours a day. I'd say 5 with an hour lunch. And people get so mad when I say stuff like that. It's so funny. But they struck. They staged strikes such as the 1834 turnout to protest wage cuts and other issues. While these early strikes were often unsuccessful, they were significant early examples of worker organization. So there's a lot of information on them. So I just wanted to show you this, because when people on the internet, these grifters, talk about, the 70s and feminism and women coming into the workplace and acting like, that was anything but amazing empowerment and a good move forward for our society, they neglect that women had already been working in the workplace, forming the first women's working union. So this is good stuff, man. Check it out. Love your history. It will teach you what's coming. Oh, yeah. So I guess we're going to get into it. The new segment here on the show. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Have you even said thank you? Today's Have You Even Said Thank You. We're going to start off with, have you even said thank you? He promised you to release the list, and he's not releasing it. Have you even said thank you? But the other have you even said thank you is, did you see this? Ron DeSantis wasted $250 million on Alligator Auschwitz as it faces foreclosure. Have you even said thank you? If you live in Florida, because I don't know if they got federal funding for that, but that was your tax dollars hard at waste. Interesting, right? Now, have you even said thank you? 25 countries suspend postal service to the U.S. over tariffs. Have you even said thank you? Have you looked at Jonathan Vance and DJT, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Trump, and said to them, thank you? Now, that British crumpet I wanted to order, I can't get. Now my Japanese Kit Kats, I can't get. Now my Australian didgeridoo, I can't get. There's a whole list. I included it down below. Here is the full list of countries suspending U.S. parcel shipments. And God bless you if you're a small business, and maybe you ship overseas. Maybe you 3D print American flags or whatever. I don't know what the small businesses are doing nowadays that Jeff Bezos and Amazon won't duplicate and then call Amazon Basics and put you out of business. That's his whole business venture. We just do what you do and cheaper because we make our employees pee in bottles and we put you out of business. So all you small business lovers, suck it. But I know, because I've talked about it here on the live stream, hit subscribe and notification bell, that there are a few different businesses that I patroned, and they've sent out emails and said, hey, sorry, I'm closing down for now. And I've seen Australian YouTubers make videos like, hey, I used to send stuff to the US and no longer. So here is the list. If you're going to get your Swedish chef supplies or your French chartreuse goose or your New Zealand kiwis, you are going to have to not only wait, but have you even said thank you? This is my new segment on the show, and I love it. We do the meme news, then we do have you even said thank you, and then we'll get into some other news too. Trickle up economics, and there's some good news too, by the way. There is good news. The Toxic Avenger is here to save us. Not all of us, just some of us. But have you even said thank you? What else is there? Epstein's best friend put RFK Jr. in charge. And what is he doing? He says, I don't have a medical degree, but I could diagnose a kid just by looking at him. Interesting, because when you try to do a Zoom doctor meeting with your kids, they'll tell you, no, we can't do it over Zoom. We have to see them in person. We have to, give them an exam. So I don't know how this fucking guy can I don't know how this dude can diagnose kids by looking at them, but maybe he's part of the X-Men or something. My Christ, if we can just do that, it's usually just called having a prejudice. I'm old enough to remember when that was just called being prejudiced. But I guess if this sounds like a refrigerator dying political leader can just diagnose kids by looking at them, shouldn't we be able to diagnose him by hearing him? And I would say, I'm not going to take any diagnosis of someone who sounds like a goose is getting run over uh, by a tractor trailer truck with flat tires. Sorry, not sorry. So have you even said thank you for putting this absolute degenerate in charge? This is what he said. Kennedy continued. I'm looking at kids while I walk through the airports today. As I walk down the street and I see these kids that are just overburdened with mitochondrial challenges, inflammation. You can tell it from their faces, but their body movement and from their lack of social connection. This this fucking guy, while sounding like an air conditioning unit that is on its last summer, this guy's saying he could just look at kids in the airport. I'm sure Donald Trump was like, what gender were them kids you looking at? I got a friend. Anyways, let's check the comments, because I'm sure these people are having to smoke their copium pipes. Lot of small bit. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Brooklyn Ways. Hey, you've been here before, Brooklyn Ways, because I asked you, do you know what the Brooklyn Way is? It's to spread love. That's what Biggie said. Most fake clickbait headline. What? Working girls? I showed you the working girls. What were you thinking? That's not my fault that your mind went somewhere else when I said working girls. These are the mill girls of Lowell. They formed the first first union of working women. And I couldn't say working women because they were girls. They were teens. But who said that? Hold on, let's find out who said that. What was your name? Sphinx. Sphinx, we know why you clicked, and it wasn't for history reasons. I think the brainworm is in control. Man, good to see you again. Sorry, homemaker mom, e-commerce business couldn't survive China tariffs. That's right. You survived Amazon and Jeff Bezos' desperate attempt to turn your business into just another Amazon Basic. And then Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, came along and was like, I'm going to tariff you all out of business. Suck it. Trickle up economics. The working girls of LOL, LOL, LOL. I got a lot of LOLs today. Thank you. I tip my hat to you if I made you laugh out loud. They were working. You are a working girl. David Foster. We know you're not David Foster Wallace with a comment like that. Showing off your 6th grade education. Jesus Christ. Your RFK Jr. clickbait. You room temperature IQ. Sphinx, that was pretty good. Room temperature IQ. My RFK Jr. clickbait. I didn't put RFK Jr. in the title. You moron. Clickbait means like I titled it something. And God, you're so stupid. You don't even know what clickbait means? Or are you just trying to back out of it now? That's what Sphinx is like. It wasn't the working girl thing. It was the RFK Jr. comments. And I'm like, I put gross Bill Belichick, working girls, and trickle up economics. I didn't even mention RFK. So are you lying? I have a LiDAR that detects lies. All right. We gotta ignore the comments again. I'm sorry. I told you what this guy said. All right, I don't want to quote you. I'm looking at kids in these airports with mitochondrial challenges. A lot of them have the inflammations. Jesus Christ. How did we put this guy in charge of health? Somebody give him a lozenge. Don't blaspheme Christ's name. David Foster Wallace, don't you talk about my Lord and Savior with your hate for your neighbor. I love my neighbor. I got a potty mouth, but Jesus forgives me because of how I want to treat and how I do treat others. I want everybody to have health care. Jesus didn't go around charging a copay. He wasn't talking about, oh, I could just die. Well, actually, Jesus probably could have diagnosed people with just looking at him, come to think of it. But when he healed the blind man, when he healed the lame, when he raised Lazarus from the grave, do you think he said, my insurance will bill you? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Literally, leave. You just made fun of a man for his ailment. Frank Zappa. Where is he? Let me teach you something. Oh, God, your name is Frank Zappa? You do not live on in the spirit of actual Frank Zappa. Shame on you. Change your handle. This guy, when you're a political oppressor who says, I'm diagnosing kids in the airport, this is where these people's stupidity doesn't cease to amaze me. Because they're like, oh, you're making fun of his ailments? Yeah, I am. The guy who wants a list of all the autistic people in America. The guy who wants to diagnose children while walking through an airport and then make policies on that. The guy who has fed you so much garbage that you are so dumb that instead of critiquing what we're talking about and going, wow, that doesn't sound normal. I've never heard a doctor look at someone and go, oh, I just made a diagnosis. In fact, you hear the opposite most times. Like, I can't just look at you and diagnose you. And Frank Zappa, not in the spirit of the true Frank Zappa, you apparently know nothing about him, is like, oh, you're making fun of his ailment. Yes, I am, 100%. And I will always make fun of his ailment, because the amount of pain and suffering he wants to bring to children and our communities, he deserves it, and more. Not just that, but like any of these maggots. I hate when the maggots are like, oh, you guys are mean now. It's like the F Your Feelings crew is talking about meanness. I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to the Obummers. When they go low, you go higher or whatever. Unless they were talking about microdosing. Let's get to some more. Have you even said thank you? Didn't you see the mug on my thumbnail? I drink fascist tears all day, bitches. So I'm gonna drink your tears while you cry. And then while you change your tune, Frank Zappa, no, I'm just talking about your hypocrisy. Hypocrisy of what? What is the hypocrisy? Or do you not understand what that fucking means? You're so stupid. Oh, no. This was a surprise. Nobody read that. Don't you dare read that. Gotta get to this. Don't you start peeking at the news ahead of things. I'm not a Philly DeFranco. I don't have everything lined up and a team of people feeding me stuff to say where I take no actual side and I just kind of toe the line and sit on the fence. I got a lot of thoughts and opinions, okay? You love free speech, don't you? Or do you not anymore? What happened to you guys? You used to wear buffalo headdresses and talk about all the conspiracies, and now you're like, yes, sir, just be quiet and obedient. Yes, sir, there are no files. Yes, sir. Jesus, you guys used to not be cool, and now you're still not cool. But now you're just obedient. Brooklyn Ways, you watch how you talk about my friend CJ. I'll boot you right the fuck out of here. Anyways, Trump's protectionism protects the 1%. Oh, have you even said thank you? Links to these articles down below. I highly encourage you to read them. Please do, because Donald Trump's tariffs amount to a stealth tax on the middle and working classes. I would even say the wealthier taxes. That's why the other year, a couple years ago, the Wall Street Journal, I believe it was, or the New York Times came out with that richflation word. They were developing new words because they were like, oh, even six-figure salaries are feeling the strain of the economy. And it's like, yeah, no shit, because we're talking about, when I say tax, tax wealth, not work. If you make $300,000 a year, I'm not talking about you. I know you think you're part of the 10%, but you're not. I'm talking about the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, the Donald shit meme coin, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. I'm talking about these people who have, what was that Slayer song or a Pantera song? Strength Beyond Strength, where they have wealth beyond wealth, where they have so much money, they can burn 70% of it on buying Twitter to make it just a Nazi playground and still not even be affected. Like, you think he worried about the price of eggs while you suckers were crying to him? No, he didn't. And this article goes into it, how Donald Trump don't care about you. He used to brag about a gold toilet. Why do you think he gives a fuck about you? Seriously. Like, do you have that much of a dad issue where you're like, I need a strong facade of an alpha male, a skibbity cuck beta, to tell me what to do so I can shut up and be obedient? Like, come on, wake up. You're American. I believe in you. The trance can be undone. Even Joe Rogan's starting to wake up. Even he's like, oh shit, I got duped. That's why if you've heard if you listen to a podcaster and they say that's not what I voted for, what they're saying is I got tricked, I got played. I thought the politician liked me, you know. I thought he really liked me. I thought we were friends. Like, they didn't realize, oh, the politician just comes in and says whatever he needs to say on your platform that panders to your crowd, like new country music. So they all buy the ticket and then they do whatever they want because they don't care about you. So if you hear these comedy, I still hesitate to call them comedy podcasts when they're just talking to the FBI and bankers and, and politicians. Like, you're not a comedy podcast at that point. At that point, if you're furthering their agenda, you're just state-run media. My Christ, you're just corporate mouthpieces. But I was getting to all that to say something, and now I forgot. Great, you distracted me. I'm blaming you. Don't you like projectionism? When Donald Trump says it's Biden's fault, don't you love that? Isn't that like your favorite thing? Just blame Biden. Just blame someone else. I've never heard a leader who has gotten the opportunity to lead so much never take any blame. And this is coming from someone who has led things before. Like, you got to at least sometimes, even Bill Belichick, that fucking creep knows. I'll get to his photo in a minute. But, this trickle down, the debunked trickle down economics, I've redubbed it trickle up economics because this time they're doing it blatantly in your face. They're like, we're going to put tariffs on stuff. And people were like, hooray! And they're like, clearly people don't understand what a tariff is because, like I've said since the get-go, and like Walmart and Target and all these other CEOs have said, even Jeff Bezos, I believe, went after someone because they were showing the price of the tariff and then the tariff increase. And he wanted to shut them up real quick. But these people cheered on. And I was like, what society or world or universe or mythic saga do you live in where you think corporations are your friend? Like, they're going to take these prices on the chin to not try to meet Wall Street's expectations. Like, you got to be a special kind of dumb to think that, But people did. And they rooted for it, and I was like, wow, this is the grift in front of your eyes, and they can't even understand it. They think the American government is going to tax foreign companies? Fucking morons. But what are they doing? They're not only doing the trickle down, but they're starving public services, blocking redistribution, undermining labor rights. Oh my God, I didn't even want to talk about what I was reading in rulings today. Solus, what's up, Solus? I'm going to take a moment to read some comments. Solus, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. By the way, you can join the family as well. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. My name is Rob. I do newsmentary. It is news from a working class perspective where we joke about the news because the news is a joke. They literally said, like, we're going to make this economy so bad. And people were like, but you're going to make egg price low, right? And he was like, whatever, you idiots. Some of you still don't even think egg prices weren't artificially inflated and made scarce on purpose by some companies, which has been proven. That's the other thing. Hold on, let me find it. Where is it? Where did I hide that little piece of gem? Oh, we're going to get to this. Oh, we got to get to the other segment. Have you even said thank you? I'm sorry, but we're going to get to this. Our new segment. Have you even said thank you? Oh, if you're wondering if those eggs are going to give you the runs, well, don't worry. The government's scaling back on a program that tracks food poisoning infections. That's got to be great for society, right? When your spinach has the poo-poo in it, you don't need to know where that's coming from. You don't need to know about any foodborne illnesses. What are we, in colonial times? My Christ, folks. These are public goods, and I don't know why, in the name of efficiency, they're scaling this stuff back. So have you even said thank you to Jonathan Vance and Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump? Here's the article, link down below. But under the change, which began in July, health departments in 10 states that participate in the, I can't read that, in the something state and federal program will be required to monitor only foodborne infections caused by salmonella and Shiga toxin producing E. coli bacteria. Those are among the top contributors to foodborne illnesses. Yeah, because you know what our money's getting wasted on? Those people who keep tracking down the foodborne illnesses. What a waste of time and money. How's that going to benefit society? At the same time, they're also closing a bunch of hospitals. So God forbid you get some kind of food poisoning in, this region right here where they're closing so many hospitals. I mean, Christ, folks. America's really going to have to turn into a shanty town for some people to start waking up. This is sad. So have you even said thank you? You can read the whole article down below. They're not shipping to us. They're not tracking food anymore. This random not doctor diagnosing kids by just looking at them. And yes, I'm making fun of his ailment. Sorry if that offends you. This isn't Jesus Christ right here. I know some of you might think he is, but it's not. Okay? All you sensitive maggots. Now, what else have you even said thank you? We talked about trickle up economics. He's protecting the 1%. Don't you read that. Don't you read that. You can read this. Republicans know he's in the Epstein files, and they're laughing behind your back. Well, you're like, yes, sir. I'll shut up and be obedient. I will no longer talk about them, sir. I've taken my orders from Joe Rogan, and we were forgetting about it. Charlie Kirk had told me to trust my friends in the government, and I obey. Well, while you're doing that, these Republicans are like, God damn, of course he's on it. He's all over that list. He was bragging about it in 2002 to a magazine. You don't tell a magazine something that you're, trying to hide. Oh, some people will keep perpetuating this violation against our communities. Have you even said thank you? Don't read that. Let's get into creep news. I was talking about this before. Bill Belichick, his company managed by Jordan Hudson, files the trademark Gold Digger. Gold Digger. Belichick, who's 73, has been dating Hudson, a 24-year-old. I wonder why Belichick and Brady were seen in the MAGA movement. Or was it Bobby Kraft? I wonder why. I wonder what Bob Kraft, old strip mall massage parlor himself, and Donald Jeffrey Epstein Trump's cohorts have in common. Let's see. Well, if Belichick was a little bit younger, how old would this girl? Oh, she wouldn't be born. Interesting. Weird. I don't know how you could go out in public at 73 be like, this is my girlfriend. She is learning to drive. Fuck, creep. Such a creep. Hold on, let's check the comments. Kelly P. Brooklyn wants 12-hour days while they sit on YouTube crying about a guy reading the news. Kelly P, you'd be amazing at how many people, when I say I want a $66 minimum wage, these people, you would think they were going to have a muffin top cankle driven heart attack. And by the way, women, you hear me correctly? Women and girls fought for your rights today to have, well, they were fighting for a maximum 10-hour workday. So you see a woman and you thank her for fighting. If you go to work every day, some people have all soon forgotten their history. American history, 1800s history. These women were fighting, leading the charge at a time where, my God, those robber barons were just as bad as our robber barons. But I thought this was absolutely creepy that they're trying to trademark the term gold digger. This is the problem with America. Not everything's a hustle. I get it. You can own that and have an inside joke. We're in jest. You're like, ha, 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 we're on a yacht polluting the world, causing most of the pollution and most of the greenhouse, whatever those gases are that are hurting things. Ha, ha, ha. Well, we ride our two yachts side by side and we have our yachts hold hand. What's her name? Is it Jennifer Hudson? That's weird. Jordan Hudson. Like, ha, ha, ha. Me and Bill and Jordan are driving our matching yachts together across the Strait of Gibraltar or whatever you do with a yacht. I don't know. Like, just laugh at it there. Don't try to start a business. Not everything's a side hustle. My Christ, people. I don't know when people started to think it was cool to like monetize everything they do. I understand you have to do that to survive, but the people who are like, oh, that's awesome, like the LinkedIn heads, like it's not awesome. When they say robots are going to take your job, I go, when? Can you tell them to hurry up? We know it's not going to be Elon Musk's robots that are just really people in skin suits, but I mean, Boston Dynamics, I saw your robot breakdancing. Make him come and do my job. I would like to paint and do live streams and talk with people and meet people. I just had a long conversation with some lady that's checking out groceries, showing her photos on my phone. And I never met her before. Know your community, folks. Get out there. Meet people. Hi, Francis. Francis, good to see you. I love this. People like Rumpelstilt Foreskin, whatever his name is, says, thank God you got your asses handed to you in November. I say I'm your official vibe coach on YouTube because your vibes are off, Rumply. If you're still talking about election that happened now almost a year ago, you're living in the past, not friend. Other people I would call friend. You, I say not friend, unfriended. Because that's stupid. You're addressing nothing that we're talking about. You're not leading the conversation into a new direction. You're not adding to the dialogue. In fact, you're subtracting from it. You're taking away from the fact that, number one, I'm pretty sure a few years before that, you were saying the election wasn't real and da-da-da-da-da. So I use that. I say, he didn't really win. Election wasn't real. I use what you guys used to say. So I don't know how you became so cool in voting machines now, little suspect, or sus, as the kids call it. You're a little suspicious now that you have your ultimate faith in the voting machines, when just a few years ago you wouldn't shut up about it. But, get with the program. Act accordingly. We're not talking about elections, you dipwad. Vanilla Danella. Sorry. Talking about the election still is like talking about your high school touchdown. Thank you. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. If you keep talking about how Trump won, get over it. It's like, that's what yes, we know. That's what we're saying. He won, and he's taxing poor people through tariffs. He passed a bill where his concepts of a medical plan were to kick people off of their medical plan, where now he's invading cities and talking about 19 more states he's going to invade, all while hospitals are closing down and people are still like, I don't know, is he a bad guy? I'm a one-issue voter. I'm not really sure how I feel. This isn't what I voted for, but some of the hate stuff is. Like, you fucking morons. How stupid are you? My one thing is like, you don't really need to say much to me. I'll hate Trump easily because he's a danger to children. He was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, best friends, and now he's trying to hide that. So, like, that's my one issue. I guess I'm a one-issue voter, too. Like, if you brag about being this guy's close friend, and you wish Ghislaine Maxwell well, and then move her to a lower security prison, I'm a one-issue guy. I'm simple. Once you start letting the kid predators out, I go, that's my one issue, And some of you used to be like that, too. God damn. These people forget who they were. Hello from Pyongyang. I don't believe that, but okay. So have you even said thank you? 25 countries not sending their mail to the U.S. The CDC is not going to track most foodborne illnesses, all except 2. Hospitals are closing. RFK is randomly, he's not a doctor, by the way. RFK is not a doctor. God, can the Kennedys curse come back, or what the fuck is going on here, folks? Can the Kennedys rein this one in? Because RFK Jr. is saying he's just randomly diagnosing people walking through the airport, diagnosing kids, no less. I'm pretty sure even WebMD is like, do not diagnose yourself by reading a website. Like, go see an actual physician. And somehow people are like, oh yeah, RFK is totally diagnosing kids walking through the airport. Jesus Christ, we're in trouble. Oh my God. Tanner, just so you know, I'm not going to read your comment, but you support Epstein when you support Trump. But with a name like Tanner, with a name like Tanner, I got to get a F Your Feelings shirt, because a lot of these Republicans are getting into that whole my feelings are more important than facts thing. Maybe his worm went to medical school. Insert opinion. valid? I don't know. Did RFK Jr.'s brainworm graduate from Harvard Medical School? Does Harvard have a medical school? Did it go to Yale? We don't know. I can't confirm or deny this stuff. Insert opinion. That is adding to the conversation. God bless you, your family. May bountiful things happen to you. I was going to say something about brainworms, and then I was realizing that you don't want a bounty of that. You just don't. You just don't. Kelly P, quote, leave dear leader alone. I love it. RFK's worm was on the grassy knoll. Cannot confirm or deny, Vanilla. But we don't know. Maybe he should have started with that. He should have said, listen, my brainworm is a MD, and my brainworm can diagnose these children. He whispers in my head. If he said that, I'd believe more of the stuff that he said than what he's saying now. Mel Ling, all caps. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Calm it down. Chat's full of PDF file lovers. That is true, CJ. Hello from Greece. Hello. I wish I knew how to say hi in Greece. So I'll pray that hello means hello there too. Mailing. Sorry, I couldn't see that. It looked like an L. Says, yeah, okay, but do you support trans kids? Do you condemn Israel and support Palestinians? Yeah, free Palestine. And I love the trans community. I know a lot of trans folks. And I support them all. Oh, that burp was nasty. Yo, do not burp if you're drinking lemon ginger cayenne. More life advice. Hit subscribe and notification bell. I will always give you that kind of life advice. That's why I'm your vibe coach. It's so good, though. I can't stop drinking it. Is this live? No, Jesse Lee. It's not. I do miss you, Solus. I miss you, Solus. It was good to see. I don't know if Solus is in here. James Cyrick. How did you get a crown next to your thing? Get a F period job. What's an F period job, James? I don't know what that is. I'll try to get one. Where do you buy them? At the store? An F period job? Interesting comment. Didn't add much, but okay. Shannon Stewart, you lost me. Oh, CJ, I was trying to read that. She said, you lost me at something. I didn't see it. Professor Oak, Solus is your mod. Yes, he is. I thank you, Professor Oak. Quite the fucking intellect on that one. Meng Hao, he's pre-recorded to answer that, but your question... Meng, I love you. I think it was Jesse said, is this live? And Meg said he's pre-recorded that answer to your question hours ago. He's psychic. Oh, this is why I say, people, we need to invest in education, okay? We need to invest in it. We need to make America Denmark again. That means no cost for college. It's paid for by our taxes, preferably by taxing billionaires into extinction. Don't forget, folks, if you want to say, oh, Econ 101, Economom, the economy is 70% consumer purchasing power. So when you and I have less money, Jeff Bezos isn't going all to your local stores to patron them, okay? He's not going to keep your community alive. He's not going to keep that small town shop up and running. That's us, the people. So I advocate for us. Lake Forest, California, what's up? Oh my Christ, we got to get into another, wait. Don't talk stuff about Solus or your god buddy. I agree with that. I let my mods work. Oh wait, who's saying God bless Trump? So you're saying God bless this guy's best friend, Epstein's best friend? Really? Are you one of the I wish Ghislaine Maxwell well people? Have you even said thank you? Our new segment here. I forgot about this story. I couldn't fucking believe this one. Where is it? I know I have it in here somewhere. I know. No, they shut down Alligator Alcatraz. Oh, I don't have the headline. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Link down below. In, I think it was Oregon, Department of Homeland Security is arresting, the federal border agents were making arrests of firefighters during an active fire, which is way, way out there. You usually don't arrest the people fighting the fire in real time, but that's happening. That's your tax dollars hard at work. So that was another news story I wanted to say. Have you even said thank you? No, Solus, don't turn on sub only. Let these people show how stupid they are. Unless they're being hateful, the only thing, because I know somebody was complaining in the comments the other day. He said you banned. This is the most funny comment I've received. I wish I could frame it. He said he thought I banned him. Just so you know, I'll say if I'm gonna ban you. If you say something homophobic or racist or misogynist, then I will step in. But my mods do a good job cleaning things up. I trust them. That's why they're my mods. But this guy said from yesterday's live stream, he said you banned you banned 5 of my accounts. And I'm assuming he was using another one. And he was complaining about it. And I thought, what kind of character are you where you know you need 5 or 6 different accounts because of the garbage you're spewing? So I'm curious to know what he said. But again, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious that he even understood. He was like, you banned 5 of my accounts. Like, who has 5 YouTube accounts? My Christ, man. Oh, it's weird. Yeah, Trolls. Telephonator. That's a cool name. Oh, Studios. So you want Joe or instead of Trump? Trump is horrible for you. You fucking morons. Never mind that he's doing trickle up economics. Okay? I just want to show you this photo because this is who he hangs with. Birds of a fucking feather, man. Billy Irish was right. But not only is he destroying our communities, but this whole trickle down now is turning into trickle up, where he's just taking money from you. He's taking all our community's resources, our taxpayer money, and he's using taxpayer money to send himself to Scotland and open up private golf courses. He's capitalizing on the White House. Could you imagine if Joe or Kamala started hawking businesses that they created? The Kamala Harris, I don't even know what she's known for, but the Kamala Harris, whatever, the Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's used laptop store, and they were selling them from the White House lawn. Like, guy, there are so many things wrong with it, but there are 2 major ones that are just glaring. That old broke-ass bankrupted casino Trump is just capitalizing off of public service, which you shouldn't be doing. Old Qatari jet emoluments 1, that in itself should be disgusting to most of the people. That's why it's public service. You're serving the public. You're voting for someone to go represent you. And I understand a lot of you do it because you're racist, homophobic, transphobic, or just hate-filled, and you thought like, oh, this is a guy that's going to further my agenda. But there's some stuff, like him being friends with Epstein, or him just blatantly getting rich off the White House and they're just bribes from foreign governments. Joe Biden took a jet from Qatar. You know what I mean? Like, I have a problem across the board with that shit. So, yes, it's much worse with Donald. But if you're going to ignore his friendship with Epstein and that he's just taking fucking bribes, he's just openly doing it. And the reason he's openly doing it is because you guys are just being obedient. You're not questioning anything, just like the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing, why do you think he's invading the country with the American military? Why do you think he's doing that? To distract, to stay in the headlines. Because even Joe Rogan was asking Cash Money Patel. He had him on the Joe Rogan state-run propaganda experience. And Cash was like, I promise you, man, don't you think I would tell you? And Joe's like, oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. I totally won't push back. I'll just shut up and be obedient. And because of that, because you guys are being obedient, he's getting away with it. Why do I end here? Doom scrolling. K. Lanio. I don't know. Just keep doom scrolling. Yeah, Maxwell Green. Low IQ. Where are you from? Oklahoma? Fucking moron. Low IQ. You see that, Blue? We are higher educated than, I'm guessing you're from Oklahoma. Number 1 in dumbest people. Have you even said thank you? Because it totally doesn't make sense, these, I just never knew so many people in this country had absolutely no backbone. None whatsoever. You have none. Whatever Trump tells you, you just go along with it. And that's reminiscent, if you know your history, of late 30s Germany, where people were like, I'm just going to go along with what's going on because I think he's going to make this country great again. Even though in front of your eyes, the orders were to ignore what you see and hear. Ignore what your eyes and your ears are telling you. Ignore what you're experiencing because I said so. And the worst, no, not the worst part, but one of the funniest parts is that even Donald J., Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, called his followers stupid and weaklings. So, like, he put you on blast. I try not to let people treat me like that. You guys are just rolling over and being obedient, and it's sad. But then again, some of you people come online and, act like, I don't even know. You need to act accordingly. Isaac, Vor Games channel. I don't know what Vor is. Says, don't let people make you feel small. You can change more than you can imagine. Oh, I know. I subscribe to that. Oh, that's a cool avatar. What is that? Is that a flamingo dodo? Looks like a flamingo dodo. But 100%. I agree to that. And I think of people throughout history like John Brown, my great uncle, who at the time of a nation in the great evils of slavery said, F that noise. We're going to fight back. He rewrote the Constitution. He included women, and slaves, and the natives. And he gave his life for the cause. And Henry David Thoreau wrote about John Brown. He said, he'll make the gallows as glorious as the cross. And the Civil War happened shortly after. And the Union, while marching into the South, who was a foreign enemy, traitorous to the United States of America, they were not the U.S. So you see anyone with a Confederate flag, they are flying. You might as well fly, I don't know, who's the last war we had? I guess D.C., so that doesn't make sense. But, they might as well be putting up a Saddam Hussein statue, if you will. I don't know what the metaphor for that would be, but a Confederate flag is a traitorous flag. They were enemy combatants of the United States. They were not the United States. And they did it all in the name of slavery. So I think about that when the Union marched down south, singing John Brown's body is smoldering in the grave. I don't know what's going on in the comments, but I don't know what Vor is, but Not for Kid gives me an idea. Michael McCumber, somebody with some answers instead of just complaining. Well, we need a working movement. That's why I say hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join me every day where I go live. I do news commentary. We joke about the news because the news is a joke, and we're trying to always punch up for those people who are like, you're making fun of RFK's voice. Fuck yeah. You think he cares about you or your kids while he's talking about diagnosing them walking through the airport? These people are absolutely living in a different reality and do not care about the consequences or repercussions of their actions. They have zero accountability. You guys elected. I like when the people lecture me about crime in cities. I'm like, you elected a felon who's committing crimes every day in the White House, taking bribes from whoever and wherever, selling out our public office, selling out our country left, right, and center, putting working class people out of business, small businesses out of business with his tariffs, which we talked about. Have you even said thank you? And we need a movement of the people. So hit subscribe, join me. We're waking people up. I'm planting seeds. You can't ignore what you heard. New fan, new subscriber. Thank you, Lee Apasmall. I hope I pronounced that correct. But that's the thing, I just need to know what you meant of Bill. I could do that. I could do that for you. Old Bill Belichick. runs in the certain circles. I just like how everybody was so concerned with the kids, and now it's like, they don't give a fuck. From Roblox to Ghislaine Maxwell to the Epstein files to what else? There's so many different stories of like people just dropping the mask and being like, the whole caring about the kids and the victim thing, that was when we thought it was going to just bust the Democrats. These people, you are complicit. If you're not holding them accountable, saying like, no, we're not, you can distract by invading all the cities you want, release those files. You said, put us in charge, we release the files, and they've done nothing because you're being obedient. And I refuse to, in the spirit of America, free speech and all that, yada, 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 all that stuff you guys like to chirp about, don't tread on me. Just scratch that don't part off of your shirt where it says tread on me. But this is the Bill Belichick thing. This 73-year-old and his 24-year-old girlfriend, my Christ. Can RFK look at him and diagnose it? What is that? What is that, RFK? Diagnose Bill Belichick. Because they're not, they're making good use of when she was called a gold digger. And they're going to trademark gold digger and put it on jewelry and keychains. Yeah, because that's like the thing right now, you know? Read the room. Everybody's worried about the price of eggs, gas, tariffs, what things are going to cost, and what we need, what society really needs is a new brand called Gold Digger. Fuck, man, we've lost the plot. Lost the plot. Exactly, tread on them. They'll get treaded on. Yeah. Your costs have gone up. Businesses didn't shut down. They passed the cost on to you, so you're paying more. But heart patient number 4919, interesting name. Wonder what that means. I've also reported here. I've showed emails that I've received from American companies that detailed from the CEO. Like, these are not small businesses, but they're smaller nationwide businesses, if that makes any sense. I always think we need to reclassify small business, not from how many employees, because people could get away with not having a lot of employees and still, not being a small business, but what their revenue is. We need to look at revenue streams to qualify businesses as small or large. That's how we should re-industrialize, district it. But I showed personally here emails from a CEO who said, because of the tariffs, I got to close down shop. Hopefully not forever, but for now. The Diamond Select that made the Muppets toys, they're gone. I'm trying to think what else we've talked about. We've talked about a few. So Trump is literally closing down small businesses. None of this had to happen. The tariffs were just his brainchild, like his fucking bankrupted casino. Another horrible idea by Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, just like moving Ghislaine to a prison with no walls, where I don't even know if she has to check in, all because she shot a thing across the bow where she was like, look at what I got, this birthday card. Remember that, Donald? And he was like, go cut that lady a deal. Callie, Christopher, a lot of our materials come from other countries. There's no escaping or connecting our connection to the rest of the world. Yeah, 100%. Like, there's, once the Democrats globalized us with the Clintons or whatever you want to talk about, like, we're done. We're done. We're toast. But it doesn't mean we can't push for better things, push for workers' rates around the world to go up, push for our quality of life to go up, not close hospitals and tax the poor through tariffs. My Christ, people, you are so easily obedient to a Nepo baby coastal elite, which I thought you guys didn't like, but Donald Trump is all of that. He'd be nothing without Fred Trump, and he's a coastal New York elite. And somehow, at the same time, you rail again, like George Soros is bad, but Donald Trump isn't, where he's totally manipulating everything Fox and Newsmax and what do the other ones do? He's celebrating shows getting canceled. He's calling for Seth Meyers to get canceled. Like, this is, somebody said they were calling from, jumping in from the Pyongyang. And let me just tell you, some of you that tell me, why don't you get out of this country? I think you'd be happier in a dictatorship, in a true to life form, not in name only or whatever. I think you'd be happier. I mean, you're trying to progress it right now, and I just think you would be happier in a dictatorship. You should go. America is about, the free speech and all that stuff that you guys like to talk about, but don't care unless it's free speech that you cherish, not that you disagree with. which isn't free speech anymore. It's just your preferred fucking words. It's so funny. These people get upset about preferred pronouns, but then they get butthurt when people use the words that aren't their preferred words. Damn Yankee, just shut up. I'm tired of stupid people. I'm just tired. Jack Nugent. There's a MAGA guy in Russia, and he said he loves it there. He moved there. I think you talking about there was a dude that moved with his family, and now his family's trapped, and he got consigned to the military. Are you talking about that dude? Russian bots everywhere. That's right, Kelly. Because Jack, I don't know if he's as happy as you think. If we're talking about the same story, there was a dude who went to Russia, said they were going to put him in like not the front lines, and then he's on the front lines in his family. There was like a whole news article about it. But yeah, like go to Vladdy Poo Poo, you know, your beloved Epstein's best friend, when he clapped for Vlad and rolled out the red carpets. But when he had the other leader here, the Ukrainian leader here, he like lambasted him. Have you even said thank you? You're not wearing a suit. And then Vladdy Poo Poo comes into town. He's rolling out red carpets and clapping for the man. So I think you people, like America's whole premise was like, we can push for better. You know, like we can change things for the people, by the people. So it's always ironic. I don't know if it's ironic, but it's always weird to me when they're like, if you don't love America, get out. And it's like, this is me loving America, saying no kid should go hungry. 1 in 5 kids are food insecure. We have 25 empty homes for every homeless person. Me loving America says, you want to clean up the homeless people? Let's give them a house. But your hatred has blinded you to understanding that, you know, your cruelty is just cruelty for cruelty's sake. So we have the answers. People aren't paid enough? Pay them more. There's your answer. It's not this complex economenon thing where you need Larry Summers, another best friend of Epstein, to come in and explain how we just need unemployment to go a little bit higher and then the economy will be great. It's like, you fucking dolts. Stop listening to these rich people. They don't have your best interest at heart. That's why you don't like your boss. You can pretend in the comments like, oh, I love my boss. No, you don't. You hate your boss. Nobody likes their boss. Shut your fucking mouth. You don't like your boss. And that's why you shouldn't. These people, Donald Trump was a CEO of many failed businesses. He does not want you to take that vacation day you need, okay? They don't have the same goals in mind. He wants to exploit you for all you're worth. And I'm here telling you that we have power in numbers. We are the people. Condra Green. I don't even know what kind of comment that is. That's weird, though. Oh, are you one of those Republican accounts that, like, you didn't log into your actual account and you're some, like, you know, old Republican white dude who forgot to log in? I'm behind you, dude. Preach on. OG Quest 1. Appreciate you. Well, that's the other thing. Maggot, they love to chirp. They love to be loud. They think they're the majority in America, and they're going to find out real quick. Once this regime is, you know, being held accountable, because no one in MAGA likes to be held accountable. Everything's always somebody else's fault, which is weird that they also worship the alpha male skibbity beta cuck universe, because to be in alpha, you have to have accountability, but they cannot, and it's top down. The leadership has proven that you just don't be accountable for anything, throw everything at the wall, lie, never be accountable. That's what you see all the time, and they're doing the same thing, but they're so loud about it that it intimidates other people, and I've just lived too long to fucking tolerate it anymore. And you guys are destroying this country, and whether it's racism or hatred of others, or you think books make people gay or some other stupid shit like that, I've just had enough. Most of you don't even know a gay person, never mind, you know, talk about what that anything is like. And it's just ridiculous that these people come in here so confident and stupid, like a goddamn peacock showing off their plumage of dumb feathers. So I just, you know, I'm done. And that's why I'm here every single day doing a live stream. Hit subscribe, because like Bernie Mac said, you maggots don't fucking scare me. I'm just done. This country could be great. Every other country in the world that is at par with America has figured out universal health care, figured out college, figured out all these things. And when you say make America great, what do you mean? You mean, oh, get rid of anybody who's not my melatonin color. You're morons. You're fucking dumb. Making a country great means you're investing in education. No kid is going hungry. You're getting rid of the homeless by putting them in homes. And your whole spiel, your whole, well, you don't even have a thing. You just listen to Trump. You just shut up and be obedient. It's exhausting. Exhausting. And then some people, that's the other thing I learned, all right? And you see this, you can watch it in Trump. Trump comes out confidently being a racist asshat, and people go, ooh, I'm emboldened. Look at what has happened. When that is a real thing. That's a real ripple effect, butterfly effect. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Dunning-Kruger. I don't know. Just throw words at the wall. But it's a real effect, okay? It is an absolute real effect. So when the media says, oh, it's emboldening people to be this, it is. Because when you see the president doing it, all these sheep, all these lame ass looking for a skibbity beta alpha rhisma cuck or whatever they're looking for, they all come out of the woodwork and go, there's my leader. I'm going to imitate him. That's why they wear shirts of him with his head on another dude's body. The disconnect is real, folks. And they come out being emboldened. But what I've learned is that if you also say, I'm fucking tired of the racist, misogynist, thinking, criminalizing the homeless, which we've done forever in America, solves the problem. Then why hasn't it been solved by now? Like, I've just lived too long to fucking be told stupid things and believe it like it's real. Like you people that say like, oh, Econ 101, you moron. You know who wrote those classes? Wealthy people who wanted you to repeat this shit. Just look at, like, once you've lived long enough, you go, oh, none of that shit works. And once you learn the history and you go, oh, damn, Utah solved homelessness by giving people homes, and it also costs less for the taxpayer. When they criminalized it, it was 16 grand a homeless person to criminalize it. And when they just gave them homes and counseling, it was only 11 grand. We could do that in America. When you learn that America has this many empty houses for this many homeless people, and the math just maths, I mean, your country's not great if your kids are hungry and you got people talking about Elon Musk going to be a trillionaire. So, and I'm very okay with you maggots going back to Charlie Kirk or wherever your safe space is, where you can just talk about green M&Ms and how Dr. Seuss wrote a book once and we should burn it. Like, you're not on the right side of history, and you're fucking not even on the right side of, like, intelligence, whatever that means. I'm just tired, because I've seen too much where I'm like, we have the solution, but there's a lot of you fucking people that go to work for a living listening to your boss like, oh yeah, he knows the solution, when your boss is like grifting and, taking advantage of you every moment he can. They don't believe in you. If Donald Trump, when I heard about the tax on tips, which expires, the corporate tax doesn't. The tax on tips expires 2028. And when people said that to me like it was a good thing, I was like, number one, you fucking morons. If he cared about working people, he would just raise the federal minimum wage. He would presidential memo it, the post-it note from the president, whatever he stupidly does every day, and he would just raise the federal minimum wage. And that would bring so many people out of poverty. Like that. That's caring for the working class. But he did this facade of like, ooh, no tax on tips. That's going to expire. Epstein files. Yup. 100%. And he's doing all this. Uh-oh. Sorry. I disappeared. Oh, wait. I disappeared again. Where'd I go? Have you even? Thank you. He told you he was going to release the files and he didn't. So, all up. And I include links down below. So if you're the reading type, you should be. Read Jacobin magazine. No tax on cash tips only, by the way. No, digital tips were included in that, Crystal, because somebody else said that, so I had to look it up. Peter Duffy makes so much sense. It's refreshing. Let me just say this. There's someone who, number one, has a real avatar, Peter. But Mr. Duffy, if I can address you as that. It's good to see an older white guy say that, because I'll tell you what. Not to categorize people, but there's a lot of older white guys, and I'll just say status quoers that, like at one point in conversation with someone, this older white guy told me, get rid of all the immigrants. I said, well, what Native American tribe are you? And he looked befuddled. And I said, because, we're going to get rid of all the immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I'm assuming you are. You look pretty white. So it's good to see an older white guy, because we need everybody getting together, you know? What did I learn in organizing? It was like, you have the power to do with what you have the power to do, or it was something along those lines. It's like, if you have the numbers, you can change things. And that's what I'm trying to wake people up. Subject, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to listen to your propaganda raising wages fires people. I've fought against corporate lobbyists at the Massachusetts State House who said shit like that. And wouldn't you know, just science and history proves you wrong. And this is where I can tell who fucking doesn't read and who does. Because it's so stupid when they regurgitate this stuff that they heard somewhere. And you know what? Just like ExxonMobil in the 70s or 80s was like, oh, we know what we're doing with fossil fuels is absolutely horrible, but we're going to hide it. We'll pay some scientists to write some obscure articles about like how you should really just have gas cars and all that shit. Even though we have the sun, you know, the sun could power everything. We have the science. But like when you repeat that shit, like I'm not even going to validate it or read it, because you should just go look. Massachusetts has raised the minimum wage a bunch of times and shit got better. Just like Massachusetts, we did a millionaire's tax in 2022. I have to just keep citing history. And this isn't even old history. But Massachusetts, I helped fight to get a millionaire's tax. And the corporate lobbyists said millionaires will leave the state. Duh. And guess what? After the millionaire's tax was passed, the amount of millionaires rose by 35%. So it looks like none of them left. If anything, we got more of them. Oh, God. Tax wealth, not work. Gary's economics video. He's a very smart economist. Actually, he's not an economist. He was a stock trader, and now he does YouTube. I highly encourage you to check him out. So yeah, if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're down for universal healthcare, higher education, no kid going hungry, homes for the homeless, no one calling an Uber instead of an ambulance, getting corporate America off our grimy ass politicians. Oh, hold on. God bless the USA, because we're going to need it. Yes, Tweety71. Thank you for the super chat, $9.99. I appreciate you. And God bless us, because you know what? Tweety, I don't mean to get off topic, but the comment right below you, I have to read this. Frank Franz, because I've said this too. A maximum wage is what we need. Greed needs to be frowned upon, not worshipped. 100%. And God bless the USA, because we are going to need it. But Tweety71, we can do this. I look back at history. This is why I love history. Because you look back at history from the beginning of this country, where, by the way, for all you go protest the right way, guess what, sweetheart? The colonists dumped tea in the harbor. You would have been so mad that they destroyed the Capitol. But we should be putting, if we have a minimum wage, put a maximum wage. We should be taxing billionaires to extinction. We can do this stuff. We just need to talk about it. When they tell you don't talk about politics, you want to know why? Because they're implementing shit like they are now, and they don't want you educated. They don't want you informed. They don't want you finding out that other people think the same way. That's why I'm so vocal. That's why I'll always punch up. That's why I'm doing this live stream, because everybody goes, oh, wow, MAGA's so loud. I don't know if I want to, do this, do that. And it's like, fuck the idiots are making a lot of noise, because that's all they got. They don't have an argument. You heard it in the chat earlier. They were like, oh, at least we won the election. It's like, you fucking moron. We're beyond there. Subject. Oh, God. I will break all this down because you're asking okay questions. Our taxes pay for it. The government runs it. And if you go, oh, you want the government to run it? Guess what, subject? The government runs veterans' health care right now. And it is paid for by taxes. So the government is already doing this for a segment of the population. So we can totally do this. But they've tricked you to corporations, specifically healthcare CEOs, Free Luigi. The health insurance industry, which does nothing to provide healthcare but gatekeep you from it, have bought our politicians. The people we elected to represent us are doing things against us, because in America right now, not only does every other country have this, every other comparable country to America has universal health care paid for your taxes. I would like billionaires to pay for it with their taxes. We tax billionaires so they're never a billionaire again. You could be fine being 999 millionaire, okay? You could be fine with that, and we pay for it with the taxes. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the secret. When people try to go, oh, you want the government to run it? How do we do it? Who pays for it? Well, you don't care about who's paying for the bombs or who's paying for Alligator Alcatraz, $250 million to just shut down. You don't care about that. But when you care about people living or dying in the year of our Lord 2025, all of a sudden you care about the budget? Well, guess what? are taxes. And guess what? The American government already runs a whole healthcare system. It's called the VA. Well, I have the solution. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God. And now subject goes to, you sound like Bernie Sanders. So he didn't mean any of this in good faith, because I give you not only the explanation, but the answers, and that's your retort. And this is why it's so hard. You can only wish, because some basically having to suffer, and it's like, well, once you have to experience this, you'll act accordingly. And I don't wish that upon you, but sometimes you go, well, what will it take, you know? How many St. Jude commercials do you have to watch on YouTube to see a dad crying about his kid having